Good evening. I'm Rod Serling. No, but we are going to listen to a tune called Twilight Zone by Mr. Shatner, Sir William of Shatner, as he is lovingly referred to by friend and champion of the channel, Han Solo. Yeah, I mean, just an insane artist. I'm coming to appreciate him much more than I realized, which is to say I knew his work from some of the Star Trek movies. Which is to say, the original run of the show, I really haven't seen it. I've probably seen bits and pieces here and there, but when it comes to the original run of Star Trek, I mainly know it from the studio or like the feature films, as well as, I just posted a mix which samples Generations, which I realized was like a transitional movie as they were moving to put the next generation people up on the silver screen. But yeah, ultimately, I did watch The Twilight Zone a lot as a kid. I found it to be a really interesting and compelling show. They never, scared me. There were episodes where, it was like, oh my god, that's such a mind trip. I remember one in particular, as I'm sitting here now, and it's one where this guy is, convinced that there's going to be a nuclear holocaust, that there's going to be an exchange of atomic weapons, and ultimately goes into a bunker and convinces himself so concretely that it did happen that when he finally comes out of the bunker, he sees the world as he expects it to be, but in fact the war never happened, and he's sort of stumbling around the streets thinking that fallout is around him, but it's just people on a city street going to a movie theater and so on, and they're like, who the heck is this guy? It's like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Imagine where you can't distinguish between what you expect to see and what is actually there. And there are other episodes where they're in this town that's sort of abandoned, and then you find out, oh, it's actually this, ant farm for a larger alien species or something. So a lot of the mind trip episodes are the ones that really kind of made me go, oh my god. Not so much the ones where there's a killer doll that makes people trip downstairs or whatever. So that's my interaction with the show, and I do enjoy the atmosphere. I think it is widely and rightly regarded as sort of this classic that maybe wasn't even fully appreciated in its time. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but ultimately, yeah, I'm not sure quite what he's going to do. Perhaps he will do an impression of Serling himself. Maybe he'll sort of set a scene and will actually kind of go through an episode, a sort of audio episode of a Twilight Zone. So I guess we'll find out. This is William Shatner. The tune is Twilight Zone, and it's from his album Seeking Major Tom. Okay. I think we have both circulation and respiration occurring.
Somewhere in a lonely hotel room, there's a guy starting to realize that his eternal fate has turned its back on him, and it's 2 a.m. It's 2 a.m. The fear is gone. I'm sitting here, waiting. The gun's still warm. Maybe my connection is tired of taking chances.
What have you done?
Yeah, there's a storm on the loose, sirens in my head. I'm wrapped up in silence, all circuits are dead. I cannot decode, my whole life spins into a frenzy. Help, I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where ought I go now that I've gone too far?
Is this a cover?
I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where ought I go now that I've gone too far? So you will come to know when the bullet hits the bone. Soon you will come to know when the bullet hits the bone. I'm falling down a spiral, destination unknown. A double-crossed messenger, all alone. I can't get no connection, I can't get through. Where are you? Well, the night weighs heavily on this guilty mind. This far from the borderline, and when the hitman comes, He knows damn well he's been cheated. Help! I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. The place is a madhouse.
The reason I wonder if it's a cover is because it does feel like he's doing that like deadpan delivery of lines which were normally sung.
Now that I've gone too far. Help, I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? When a bullet hits the bone. Soon you will come to know. When a bullet hits the bone. When a bullet hits the bone.
Sort of a blues rock feel. But it feels like it has nothing to do with the show Twilight Zone. So who's on the guitar? Trill much? Boy is shredding this axe right now. Like the Norwegian blue parrot, I'm stunned. I didn't know what I thought this track would be, but it was not. If someone said, yeah, there's gonna be like a 2-minute, like, wicked blues guitar solo. Like, wait, what? So not kids sending adults out to the cornfield, but in fact a blues solo? Which is still going on. Now it sounds like Survivor, like Queen or something.
Help! I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? Help, I'm stepping into the Twilight Zone. The place is a madhouse, feels like being cloned. My beacon's been moved under moon and star. Where am I to go now that I've gone too far? When a bullet hits the bone. Soon you will come to know. When a bullet hits the bone.
I love his intense delivery of that
When a bullet hits the bone.
heard from Mr. William Shatner. Seriously, that was a jammin', rockin' tune with some swagger, some funk, some blues. Just a really amazing tune. So yeah, again, maybe it's not the craziest tune we've heard from him. Maybe it's not the most unique take. It does sound like a cover. It sounds like that has to be an adaptation of some other tune. So do let me know. Again, I don't think it has anything to do with the show Twilight Zone, though. Not entirely sure. Do let me know what you think. I'll see you next time. Peace.